Hey Marvin, I really liked your description of what you thought or how you think of reincarnation. I agreed pretty much with everything you said about it. Um, I think you'll see the comment I left that we are the universe experiencing itself from many different perspectives is basically what you said, and I think that's key for understanding reincarnation because there's I think of it as there's an exoteric way of understanding and an esoteric way of understanding it, and the exoteric way is more of the idea that your individual ego or your soul or yourself, your individual self is going to somehow uh, come back after you die and inhabit another body, whether it's a human being or a cockroach or whatever. Um, and that's I think that's kind of a naive view of it. It's more of folklore than the deeper spiritual meaning of this term. Because I think the deeper meaning of it is exactly what you were describing, that we're really all one at that deeper level. We're all made of the same stardust. Um, and the temporary organization of our body isn't permanent. It's temporary, and it lasts, only for a few years, relatively speaking. And while we're alive in that temporary state, like right now, I don't know who I am. And I think reincarnation is really supposed to clue us into the fact that we're all here together and that I, whatever I am, which I don't know, am the same as every other sentient being that doesn't know who they are either. I mean, we think human beings somehow are self-conscious and animals aren't. But what does self-consciousness really amount to? I mean, it makes it sound like we can step outside of ourselves to see ourselves, but where's the stepping outside of ourselves? When do we ever get to do that? We don't really ever get to do that. I think self-consciousness is a function of our language, and we talk about ourselves as if we were self-conscious. But the real meaning of that term isn't what we have. We're not really a soul inside of the body driving the body around like a machine. Um, Plato believed in reincarnation, and his version of reincarnation was the exoteric type of meaning I was talking about before, because he thought that the body was, he realized the body was transient, but he thought he had an eternal individual existence, a soul that would live on and reincarnate into another human being's body, which would then become his body in another life. And I don't know if that happens. I can't say, but I think I still think the real meaning of this term is supposed to apply to right now. That um, we think of time as though it were like this stable division between moments, and that each moment passes in a sequential order, and that's how we really divide up our experience and have a sense of identity, individual identity, because we all live our own personal lives somehow, and we all have our own stories, and there's a chronology. And but the thing is, life is really one moment, and our memories are like a dream that we invent because we don't know what really happened. Our whole lives up to this point, something happened. We don't know what it is because there's no objective view of what it was. There's only my memory of it and the other people that experienced it around me's memory of it. But none of those memories are the actual thing itself. The actual past doesn't exist because we're one endless moment That's our experience, one endless moment. And when we look at it that way, where does the separation between my endless moment and your endless moment and, you know, a turtle's endless moment or a bird's endless moment, where does that separation come from? Because, ultimately all of the created universe, the Big Bang up until now, 13.7 billion years later, is one moment. And so instead of thinking of reincarnation in terms of this chronological order of, I was alive 150 years ago as this person, and now I'm reincarnated today as myself, and in 150 years I'll be reincarnated as another person. See, that's sort of bastardizing the true mystical meaning of this word, which is right now, in this moment, we are already every sentient incarnation that exists, at least on some level. And whatever that deeper level of unity is, we'll call it consciousness, the consciousness of the universe. That's what orders my body and my brain. That's what brings it into the form it has now. And it's what brings everybody and mind into form. And it's sort of, that's the one consciousness's way of expressing itself in all these different varieties of individual bodies. But the expression itself comes from the same source. So, it's reincarnation, and we think of that as my personal incarnation over, like I said before, a period of time. But I don't think we should look at it that way. I think we should look at it as right now. The universal consciousness is reincarnated here, there, all the animals and all the trees and all the atoms and everything in the universe is just connected at that level. So yeah, thanks for bringing up reincarnation. I really enjoy that topic.